Can you give us a bit of background as to the report that's been done? And this is all as the agriculture sector becomes more and more productive. It's not like there's going to be any loss in revenue either in terms of this analysis.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And thank you for having me on the show. So, this is a report that was commissioned by Farmers for Climate Action and prepared by Ernst and Young. And it is an informed and pragmatic report that shows the ways to reduce emissions from the agricultural sector. And as you already stated, the exciting thing that has been revealed in this report is that not only is net zero emissions possible, but we can do that whilst increasing productivity. It also outlines all the things that agriculture is already doing. You know, it is taking climate change very seriously, and it is putting climate action at the front of its strategies.
Now, in terms of the approach that the Ernst and Young has looked at, what sort of things would agriculture be doing as part of reaching these targets, and where does the money come from? Because I know the Nationals and other critics say that farmers will be forced to lock up land, but far from locking it up, it's actually going to drive revenue, isn't it?
Well, that's right. And so this report shows that there is a whole suite of things that can be done in the agricultural sector and that are already being done. So these strategies include reducing methane from livestock, and that can be done through feed additives, from vaccines. We can improve pasture and land management. We can do carbon and biodiversity plantings, which improves business diversity. We can use improved fertiliser practices to reduce emissions that way. And also, of course, the adoption of renewable energy and electric vehicles. There are so many things that can be done and are already being done, but we need to scale up our efforts because climate change is here. It is urgent, and we need to get on top of this problem.
And looking at this as well, Farmers for Climate Action, your membership now is up over 6,000 and is one of the largest farm groups by membership now in the nation. So anyone watching this, whether it be the National Party or whatever else, who thinks you're some niche group, you actually represent a very big part of the farming sector.
Absolutely, we do. And all of the farmers that I know, the people in the rural communities that I hang out with, they are concerned about climate action. And that's because they can look out the kitchen window and see the impacts of the drought. They have been devastated by the bushfires ravaging their landscapes, by floods sweeping away livestock and infrastructure. These problems are becoming more and more serious with every passing season, with every passing year, and we need to do something about that.
Well, you mentioned the drought issue. What I find interesting in this analysis from Ernst and Young is that this also provides farmers, through droughts, with a much better stream of revenue. Essentially, it's drought-proof.
Well, that's the thing. There is a great cost of climate inaction. If we don't act on climate change, we get worse droughts, we get massive bushfires, we get these horrible flood events, and we have seen that reduces productivity and profitability of farming businesses. But when we actually act on climate change, we open up all these opportunities. We have greater resilience to climate change shocks. We have business diversification through biodiversity and carbon credits. We are also not locked out of international markets or penalised for our carbon emissions. And of course, by acting on climate change, by planting trees, by reducing emissions, we increase our productivity and profitability. So acting on climate change actually makes good business sense.